Welcome back to Straight Facts. It's Wednesday. I'm joined by Mo and Husam. We're talking Arsenal, the new deal for Bukayo Saka. Reportedly all agreed upon now, 300k a week for Saka to stay. Talks for Semenyo to move this January, reportedly underway, according to Duncan Castles. We're jumping into that story and what Premier League teams are involved. We're looking at some of your hot takes as well. Liverpool, will they even make the top four this year? What's happening in this North London derby? And are the Arteta outers a bigger problem than we all thought? We've got some really, really good hot takes for you, some really good talking points. Cole Palmer back for Chelsea as well. Are we now about to see the very best of Chelsea going into not the second half, but sort of the second third or the second quarter, of the Premier League? We want your views. We want your opinions. Make sure like buttons have been hit. Make sure you're all subscribing. Make sure that bell notification button is turned on as well. But Mo, Husam, how are you both?
I'm great. Football is back finally. I'm done with this international football. You get me? Big up. Commiserations to all the people in the chat who their countries didn't qualify, and congratulations to the ones who qualified. I can't relate. My country qualified like 2 years ago. So big up to all of you. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing, and football is back.
England had the most historic campaign ever, winning every game, not conceding one goal. I don't think that ever happened. So that is, and at least now Foden can go put it on a plate for Haaland instead of putting it on a plate for Eze. I think that is what is happening, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been a weird international window as well, really, because there's not been a lot of news going on. The last couple of days there's been a bit more. There's been crazy stuff in the England camp. Well, the media going after Jude Bellingham, which I find has been crazy. Foden getting more praise for a 5-yard pass than Eze scoring a screamer. There's been a lot of that's English press for you, though. We actually have a good period. Instead of focusing on all good things, they create bullshit, man. I tell you, our media is crazy.
You don't know who's exactly like this? Egyptian press.
Really?
They create drama for their current manager instead of supporting them before a big competition. They're fucking weird, bro.
You think English press is weird? There is 110 million Egyptians that live in Egypt, Terry. And you just don't understand the drama. And also there is the rivalry between two clubs are taken over. Like whoever gets picked, there is massive like, oh, you're picking this because he plays for Al Ahly, you're picking this because he plays for Zamalek, and it's like
there's a whole argument right now between the Egyptian national team coach and their former Olympics coach. That's how bad this shit is happening in Egypt.
I didn't even know that. Joshua Jack says, can we at least talk about the best international week in a decade, from Scotland and Ireland to the Congo Nigeria game where voodoo was used? I'll be honest with you, I saw that comment about voodoo, and I tell you what, the first thing went through my brain was don't react to it, because I have no idea whether me laughing at that is going to be considered acceptable or bigoted. So I didn't know.
I'm going to say something, bro. Hold that, you all Nigerian people. Hold that. You Nigerian people mocking Egypt all the time. When we lost in the final in Senegal, they mocked Salah and Egypt, bro. You Nigerian people, you arguably had some of the best ever teams in the history of Africa, ever. You won the gold medal in the Olympics. You had the best teams in some parts. You only won 3 African Cup of Nations. That's all you won. And you are out of the World Cup playing Congo. You know, you're not even playing Senegal or Cote d'Ivoire or Morocco. With all due respect to Congo, you're playing Congo. Hold that, you all Nigeria. Like mock Salah, oh my God. When Egypt got knocked out of the World Cup, you don't understand, because they mock us, bro. They mock us when we don't win, because we won 7 AFCONs. 7 AFCONs, the most in the continent.
Yeah, it's bad for them. Obviously, not a great night for Jamaica last night. There's a playoff for them still, so they're still a way through, but they could have qualified automatically last night. And Steve McLaren has been sacked or a step down either way. Well, I mean, what a week though for the Irish, who got into the playoffs, that last minute winner. But Scotland yesterday, I mean, what a night. I mean, Scott McTominay, overhead kick. Kieran Tierney, screamer in the last minute, goal from the halfway line to seal it. It's just absolutely phenomenal. And to be honest with you, I like what I don't like about international breaks is there's very rarely been drama for years, because the big teams win, the smaller teams don't. But actually, I think this last week kind of breathed a little bit of life back into international football. It felt a little bit, when I was a kid growing up, people don't remember this, but England would have a qualifying group. and there'd be one other big team in it. You'd have an Italy, you'd have a Spain, you'd have a Germany, and one of you went through. There'd be a playoff for the other. So there was jeopardy in your games, and it made the qualifiers a little bit more exciting. Now, typically, you're up against no one of any real might. That makes, if you're in England, if you're a Spain, if you're a France. But actually, if you start watching the other teams, the Scottish, the Irish play, the European side of things, I think it makes it far more interesting, like who's getting the playoff place. And with what Scotland did, actually winning their group as well was amazing. So yeah, it was a brilliant week, Joshua. Great super chat there of international football. Ireland versus Hungary, what a game that was.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way the Irish people reacted, you thought they were at the World Cup already. There's still playoffs, Habibi.
I literally thought that they made it to the World Cup.
Yeah, same. Hold your horses, man. Hold your horses.
Look at you, Celebration Police and Standard FC on the show today. Look at that.
No, I'm just joking. Congratulations.
No, I know you are. I know you are. So I'm going to pour myself another little cup of tea here. I'm doing it properly now out of a proper teapot, you see. Got to do it properly.
What are you doing, Brusky?
This is the same stuff we have in Jordan. We have teapots.
Yeah, teapot. And then I have a little jug.
No, what happened, bro?
With the milk in. A little jug of milk.
You haven't been to England, right? When you go to the posh tea places, bro, ceramic pot. You know what I mean? Ceramic mug. And
we have a ceramic pot.
This is ceramic. This is ceramic.
I know,
yeah.
That's why I said, yeah.
That's a ceramic teapot and a metal one too.
Yeah, still one. It's proper still ones. Yeah, I love a still one. Yeah, they got to do it right.
But I'm not a tea drinker. I'll be honest. I've been about coffee probably for the last 10 years.
No, I'm a tea drinker, but from a teapot though, like I don't mind it. Every now and then I'll put a tea bag in a mug and do it that way. But from a teapot, let it brew properly. Just different level. But I like all types of tea. Like what I like is in Turkey, I like all the fruit flavored teas. I like all that type of thing. Yeah, I'm a big tea drinker. I wouldn't have thought that Haiti, the MLS second division level players would bring me more joy this season than Liverpool. Baldy needs to fix up, is what Costa says here. Yeah, big up to Haiti that made it through as well.
True.
Laugh at it. We Africans did. That was cinema. I'll be honest with you. I found it funny. I will say it was just a funny. I didn't expect it to come out of his mouth, but we know the world we live in now. We know the world we live in at this. I'm a big comedy fan, and I like comedians from all over the world. But someone who grew up around comedy, as my dad was a comedy writer and a comedian, you have to be careful what you laugh at these days. Even laughing at certain jokes will get you in trouble. So it's not my fault. I don't make the rules, but I thought it was funny. It was embarrassing for Jamaica. The football was awful. Steve McLaren had to step down, score one goal, and you'll qualify. What I was told, Wayne, and again,
aren't Jamaica in the playoffs as well, though?
They go into an intercontinental playoff, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs, so they're not out yet. To be fair, the thing is, listen, I wanted Jamaica to win yesterday, obviously because of everything that's happened and the charity stream that me and you were involved in. But yesterday, I was like, "Who the hell is Caracas? I've never even heard of that country before in my life." Never heard of them. I'm like, there's no way you can't beat Caracas. But
I saw a clip, and I'm not going to say I know who the gentleman is because just be lying. But he was talking about how the Jamaican. I didn't watch a single Jamaican game, so I'm not going to sit here and criticize what they did or didn't do. But what I've seen a lot of people say, clips of people talking about, is how they're not really utilizing their strengths. Obviously, the Jamaican team is full of a lot of quick players, but it's a lot of long balls rather than trying to utilize their ability on the ball and their speed and everything else. But that's what you're going to get with a Steve McLaren running you, to be honest. Mo, if Italy don't make it, what happens?
This is one of the
Mo's Egyptian, bruv.
But I supported Italy before Egypt because I didn't live in Egypt as a kid. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know you didn't live in Egypt.
No, I didn't live in Egypt. I grew up since I was an infant until I was 10 years old in Saudi Arabia. So the first international team that I watched was Italy. And I used to go to Egypt in some holidays and stuff. But at that time, there was no connection with the country because, as an infant growing up somewhere else, you don't feel it. So I supported Italy. But to be honest with you, I still support the Italian national team sometimes. I like them since Roberto Baggio. But this Italy national team, they haven't made it to the World Cup for years. This is the worst generation. And it's just a reflection of where Italian football is. It's a reflection.
Yeah, it's crazy. Jokeres and Isak will be watching the World Cup. Are Sweden out?
The playoffs. We're not out yet.
We are. Are you a Sweden fan now? You're a Sweden fan.
Big up Sverige.
Hold on. You're not. Sweden is not in the playoffs.
No, they are in the playoffs because of the Nations League.
Oh my God. Oh, I didn't know that.
Come on, Isak, man, let's do this.
You know, Husam did a watch along yesterday. Terry and Isak didn't even come on for a minute. And he was
Yeah,
like,
Isak
I'm doing a watch along for Sweden. And he's like,
Slovenia, and Isak didn't even play, bro. Wasted my time.
You
know, I'm not gonna do a Sweden watch along up until like literally like the playoffs. I'm done with this, bro. Until it's playoff time, I'm not doing. Did you just change your shirt?
Sorry, I had the heating on in here, and I was in this in a hoodie, and I was burning up. I was like, I need to get it off. And
I knew you were saying you just changed your shirt. I was like, did he just change his shirt? Yeah,
no, I just had like a hoodie on over the top, and I was absolutely boiling. I had the radiator on in here, and
over here it's cold as shit right now.
Oh, it's freezing here. Where I live today, it's like -1. It was snowing earlier, so it wasn't great.
It's 13 degrees here, but we've discussed this before. Brick houses.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
Cold inside. It's just all the cold inside.
Once I put my heating on, my house, that's why now I'm too hot, because I had the heating on for half an hour. Like, we keep the heat in. It's the opposite. In the summer here, I guarantee you my house is warmer inside than your house in the summer, because
everyone has ACs. In the Middle East, everyone has ACs.
Well, that's true. And plus, you know, countries that are hot for large periods of the year, they're designed in a way for the air to flow and everything else. So yeah, there we go. Early predictions: Norway will surprise people at the World Cup. They've got a great chance to. They've been brilliant. Sweden versus Denmark playoff. We will be. Yeah, what a playoff that will be.
There's only one team. There's only one team in this World Cup that all the eyes on, and they must. There's only one team must. England. This is it. You're their favorites.
Oh, I disagree. France must.
Best team in the world, England. And I promise you, England must win the World Cup. This is it. England must win the World Cup now.
Well, it's the best chance we've had since 1966, and biggest reason is we have German efficiency.
No, 1990 or supposed to 1990.
1990 we weren't. 1990 we weren't very good. 1990 we actually started the tournament awfully and nearly went out. We just happened to get to a semi-final. We weren't very good in that era, in that period. I would say like between 98 and sort of 2006. Those teams were kind of predicted to do well, but that was in the peak of French football. Brazilian football was
Italian football as well. Yeah.
But I think the reason I think we've got a really good chance this time is because we actually have a top-class manager, a genuine world-class
cup manager, bro, and
a great cup manager. No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. We just got to calm the media down a little bit. Viewers, please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Get yourselves subscribing. If you're watching over on X, thank you for tuning in. You can come and join the community though right now on YouTube. There's a link on the X post. Click on it. Come and join us here. It would be amazing. First, we'll jump into one of our first hot takes of the show, really, because it leads into one of our stories. And this here says, this is from Rubens Reds, who says, Man United are landing Semenyo, and that signing becomes the spark that drags us all the way back into the Champions League spots.
I'm so tired of Man United fans. I'm actually tired. Like five games without a loss is where your life has peaked. That's how sad your football club has been. Semenyo, United are not even on the table for Semenyo right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. So United is just not that guy right now. Semenyo, if he leaves Bournemouth, he's gonna leave to a Liverpool, to an Arsenal, to a club like that. It's funny because me and Mo had this debate yesterday on MHF, literally yesterday. We're talking about the most attractive clubs. I believe Manchester City is the most attractive club right now. We're talking generally here. We're not talking specifics. As an example, Semenyo is an Arsenal fan. If Arsenal call him, he's gonna choose Arsenal. So not every single example is the same, but we're giving generic example. 100 footballers lined up. I think the most attractive club in England right now is Man City because of the Pep factor, because of them having unbelievable success over these last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And then we go Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. And then after that, we go Man United. I'm not shameless. Mo himself yesterday was like, I fell for it in the summer. I'll never say Newcastle are more attractive than Man United or Spurs are more attractive than Man United, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Even with Champions League football, Man United are still more attractive than them. But as things stand, I do believe Semenyo is looking for bigger things. And this is not a disrespect to Man United. It's the reality for you're at right now. Semenyo probably wants to win the Premier League. Semenyo wants to win the Champions League, of which Man United can't offer him that right now. And by the way, let's remember as well one thing. Keep this in mind. It's very important for this debate. Semenyo is 26. Deep this, guys. He ain't 21. He ain't 22. He ain't 19. He doesn't have a whole career ahead of him. Like, the guy has 5, 6 years left now. So he wants to start winning stuff. He wants to start putting medals on the table, for him. So For me, yeah, he turns 26 in January. That's what I'm saying. So literally in a month, he's 26. So he's not like, if he was on the younger side, I'd be like, okay, maybe. But the guy is like, he's 26 now. It's gonna be prime years. It's gonna be the years where he's expected to perform. So he's now looking at the time. Let's say United keep building and do fantastic job and win the league 4 years from now. By that time, Semenyo's 30. He don't have time to sit around for the next 4 years trying to build a project and shit. So yeah, I think he's probably going to join a more ready-made team. And by the way, there's something that I disagree with even more in that hot take. Why do Man United need Semenyo to get top 4? I think you can get top 4 without Semenyo. That's not a necessity. Yeah, you can get top 5. Sorry, you can get top 5 without Semenyo. What's stopping you? Right now, watch this, yeah? Eventually, the top 4, I think we can all agree in no order. Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. These are the 4 teams that are going to finish in the top 4. The 5th space is up for grabs. I don't think Spurs are going to handle playing 2 games a week. I don't think Newcastle are going to handle playing 2 games a week. I think Aston Villa is going to be focused on the Europa League with Unai Emery. So I think United will make top 5 anyway. Like it's not impossible. If anything, the thing that Man United probably need now is a midfielder. If you want to strengthen your chances of being in the top 4, you need a midfielder in January. That's legitimately what I believe. I don't think Semenyo helps you that much. I think Cunha, Mbeumo, and Sesko is actually a very good front 3. You don't need a front 3 player right now anyway.
To be honest with you, I'm going to tell you something. There's no reason for Semenyo to go to you. You don't have a winger. You don't play with wingers. Semenyo is kind of a touchline winger. You're not going to play Semenyo as a left wing back. There are better players for Man United, suited for Man United than Semenyo, in my opinion. I agree with Husam. Anybody that plays behind the forwards, like for me, I would think a player like a Morgan Gibbs White, like a what's the guy, the Aston Villa guy, Morgan Rogers, is more suited to your way of playing 3-4-3 than a Semenyo. Like Morgan Rogers behind the striker. If you move Cunha up top, if Sesko's not performing, and you have Morgan Rogers and Mbeumo, that is more lethal to the way you play, because the wing backs hold the line all the time. You are supposed to go and get, for example, which is what I'm hearing, rumors, that you might be targeting DeMarco from Inter. That's a touchline wing back. That's someone that runs the line, that doesn't need a winger in front of him. He only needs the line for himself to go forward. So you want to get someone to occupy the area. I'm talking football-wise. So Semenyo doesn't suit you. The money could be utilized somewhere else. Could be utilized for a midfielder.
Thank you, Mo.
But even if you want to get a forward, the forward should be a Morgan Rogers, a Gibbs White, someone from the elk or another striker. You know what I mean? Not a winger. However, I don't think that is the main point about this. The main point is the hot take saying that Man United will help you get top 5. I am actually now in the camp that says that Man United must get top 5. You must. Because of how Newcastle are 13th, Terry. 13th. They're 4 points above the relegation zone, right? So by the way, and everyone said that the main rival for that top 5 is Newcastle. After getting Voltemada and all this stuff. Like, who's better? Are you telling me that Thomas Frank's Spurs, who are 17th in the home form, should be getting top 5 ahead of Manchester United? No, they shouldn't. With all due respect, they have 12 injuries. They have 12 injuries, Spurs, with the most creative players not coming back soon. Thomas Frank is a defensive manager. So I believe that Man United, if we're looking at the investment you made in the summer, and also you're talking about the winter getting a midfielder, whoever that midfielder, the Baleba, right? I think you must make top 5. And I think Amorim should and I think that should be the demand from the fans for Amorim to get the Champions League football next season. Him staying or not staying will depend on other factors. But I don't see any team today, right? I don't see any team today getting top 5 ahead of Man United, supposedly. This is it.
So you think we're one of the top 5 teams in the Prem now?
Yeah.
Amorim's turned us around from 15th to top 5. So he improved us by around 10 positions, in your opinion.
Funnily enough, by the way, without
why you're trying
me and Mo, I have been doing the same thing.
Why are you trying to do this?
By the way, we've been cooking Man United fans about too negative.
Trying to do what?
There's no reason to be
You're
negative.
trying to. We're 15th. Don't put pressure on us. You were at 15th.
No, we're not cooking you. We're not cooking you. We're cooking the negative ones. There is no need to be negative. Stuff is looking up. 5 games, no loss. You're playing well right now. Khalas, stop crying, yahi. Don't cry when there's a reason to cry. I'm crying because I have 1 win in 6. You know, City fans were crying at the start of the season because they lost 2 and 3. When there's a reason to cry, habibi. There is no reason to cry as a Man United fan right now. Just be happy.
And also, okay, Terry, go back. So who do you think is better than Man United today? And you're not 50. Bro, Spurs, the turnaround from 17th to where they are now, 6th or 7th in the table, right? What are you talking about? You're talking about you. Yes, you are the 5th best team in the country. You signed the two of the top 5 GEA contributors last season that everyone in the league wanted. Liverpool wanted, Arsenal would not mind, City would not mind Acuna. You signed both of them. You have Bruno Fernandes, who on his day, which is, by the way, his days are a lot. The people that are saying that Bruno Fernandes is a bad player, he is a good player, right? I think there is nobody. The only problem with your team, in my opinion, is if Casemiro doesn't perform. The left wing back, Patrick Dorgo, I think is the only one below bar. The only one at Man United that's below bar. To Patrick Dorgo. The goalkeeper looks good. 3 center backs with depth. If Licha is back, if Lisandro Martinez is back, is good. Luke Shaw is performing well. You're right back. You have Mazraoui, you have Dallo, and you have Amad Diallo that can play on that side. You have Kunyan Mbuemo, Xerxes is a technical player. Sisco, now everyone, like, he's coming back in a month, Terry. He's not coming back in 6 weeks. He doesn't have ACL, as it was reported earlier. It's reported it's a month. So it's a month. He's coming back, right? And then you'll have January to reinforce. So I don't think it's far-fetched to say that Man United are the 5th best team in the country today.
I think there's a chance we finish in the top 5, but I don't believe a categoric statement can be made with the top 5 in the country. One, we're 7th, so there's already 6 teams that have been better than us so far this season. Our home form's looking very good. Let's see what we do Monday against Everton. I think we'll win. I think we'll win quite well. I actually think we're going to win 3-0 or 3-1, somewhere along those lines. But the away form is still nowhere near the level that we need it to be. Aston Villa, you already pointed out, they've had 2 seasons on the road on a bounce better than us. And they've picked up after that really slow start to the season. They're there or thereabouts. We know what the main top 4 is already going to be. Liverpool will overtake us and finish ahead of us. So you've got Aston Villa there as an example. I'm not writing off your Bournemouths and Palaces, who again for over 12 months have been better than we have been. Newcastle, yes, they sit 14th, but that means people haven't watched them play. If you actually look at that position, I still think they're going to start turning that around. I'd love to come 5th. I'd love to believe it as much as you 2 gentlemen do, but I'm not there. I'm not convinced yet. Do I think it's possible? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and go impossible, no way, 100%. To the hot take from the viewer around Semenyo, I actually do think Semenyo is what we need. I would play him at left wing back because Amorim doesn't want his left wing backs performing like other people.
Bro, I cannot do this, bro.
No, of course you can't do it. Of course you can't do it because you don't want to hear the facts of the matter. And we spoke about this yesterday, right? One of them is Semenyo, and one of them is Amad, and one of them is Nuno Mendes. And yesterday, the viewers and the audience couldn't tell. Semenyo already at Bournemouth plays in the positions that our left wing back plays. He does the defensive work that our left wing back would have to do, does the attacking work that our left wing back would have to do already in that system. He may not say yes to it, but he would fit it perfectly is the point that's being made here. Plus, if
imagine Amorim calls Semenyo right now and tells him, I want to play you left wing back. How long does that conversation last?
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. He already met the man.
Remember, Man United are the biggest club in the world, so they call any player, he will answer, even if they're going to tell him you're going to play as a left back.
Well, hang on a minute, but he had a meeting with him in the summer and had dinner with him, and Semenyo was open to joining it. Was Man United decided they would put the money into Cunha and Mbumo this time round. So you already had that conversation and shown an interest in Man United. That's already happened. But from my point of view and perspective, spend an hour researching what Amorim actually wants from his wing backs, and it is defensive work in parts, but it's mainly attacking. The only type of wingers that we couldn't have play those roles are the ones that don't want to come back and do the defending or can't because they're older. But that all being said, if we were to sign someone of Semenyo's level, I still think we need a midfielder in January as well. So
am I allowed on the show to call out your ball knowledge?
You won't sign Semenyo anyway.
Am I allowed? Can I call your ball knowledge out?
You can call it out if you want.
If
you want to, yeah.
I think that's the problem. I think you're very new to the 3-4-3 wing back system. Your wing backs need to be right-footed and left-footed. Amad Diallo, a right wing back, need to change to a right-footed player. Wing backs are mostly there. And because you have Cisco, one of the best people to win headers and long balls, you need your wing backs to be left-footed on the left, especially if you have Amad Diallo as a right-footed, as a left-footed right wing back. You need a DeMarco there. You need a Marcos Alonso. You need a left-footed wing back out there, not a right-footed guy. Semenyo's right-footed. He's cut inside. He's more dribbling. You need a wing back to be able to cross. How many times Dorgo get to the byline and his left foot fails him to cross? He's a left-footed, but his crossing is not perfect. You need someone on the left that actually can cross to one of the biggest and the best forwards in world football in leaps. Cisco wins all the headers. So you cannot have a right wing back that is left-footed and a left wing back that is right-footed. That kills your width. It kills your width.
So, well, it doesn't though, doesn't it? Because this is the thing. Everyone talks about Amorim adjusting, and yes, he used a lot of the time at Sporting right footers on the right hand side, left footers on the left hand side. I'm actually somebody that's been calling for a long time for that to come back into the game. But what we also have the ability to do, but just Dorgu can't do it, is the interchange. So you've started to see the way Mbumo and the way Ahmad work on that right-hand side. And up until the Spurs game where he changed it and put Mbumo over to the left, it'd been working very, very well. We've been opening teams up, scoring goals, actually tracking towards, in that period of time of them playing together, scoring more goals on average per game than we had done in the previous 3 seasons combined. The left-hand side could be exactly the same, but then comes the versatility. Then comes the versatility and the potential of switching players over. Then there is the adaptation, which, again, when it comes to ball knowledge, read more about Man United, because already the team has started doing training sessions on 4-3-3. So
you're going to move formation to 4-3-3 now?
So again, but this again, I'm not saying this. Ruben Amorim has said since day one that his formation will change eventually. People want to ignore him saying that. Jason Walcott did an interview 10 days ago talking about how there isn't any pressure from him to force that change at this particular moment, but training sessions and drills are already being done in that formation. So from my point of view and perspective, not every signing that we make today has to work in this specific system forever, because that's not what's been said. So this isn't about ball knowledge in terms of you don't understand how this formation works. It's looking at how this formation works right now and what may or may not be needed, plus what Wilcott and what Man United and Ruben Amorim have said is likely to come further down the line. So it's looking at those 2 scenarios at the same time. And when looking at that, I rate what Semenyo does. I think he could go into that left wing back role right now and do a fantastic job for us. Could he be moved across to the right hand side and play right wing back and be that right footer you mentioned? Yes. Could he then play in games where, like now with Šeško out, could he go into the role that Cunha or Mbumo plays whilst Mbumo or Cunha goes into the 9 role? Or could he himself go into the number 9 role, which he's also played? Yes. You get that multifaceted nature element with a Semenyo. Plus, let's say Ruben fails and the new guy comes in and goes straight to a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. There's a brilliant switch up straight away. So these are players that are good for us in this moment with what we're doing. They will be good for us, brilliant for us, maybe, in fact, when that adaptation comes, or if there's a managerial change. So not every signing is about you're going to play left wing back for Man United for the next 5, 6, 7 years, and that's a guarantee. So it's beyond the ball knowledge of a specific system. It's looking at what's being published and written about my football club. And I'm only giving you an opinion based on what I'm hearing, based on what Jason Walcott has told us. So that's more my reasoning surrounding it. And I think he's a superb talent. We should be in for him, because I think a bit like an Mbumo, I think it'll be a player we'll regret not buying. And we'll see him killing it at Arsenal, killing it at Liverpool, and we wish that he was at Manchester United, is my sort of view around that. Let's do some super chats here. This is no academy player in the 11 is why I back Ruben, is what English Talent says here. I agree with Husam. No need to cry at the minute. I'm just enjoying the ride at the moment. Unbeaten in 5 and fighting for top 5. Get me a wing back and CDM, and I feel we can nail European places. Ray, I agree with you. I think if we went and got a wing back or another, someone who can help us attack better, and a good central midfielder in January, I'd be confident of a European place. I don't know Champions League, but I think we could get a European place. And I'm the same as you. I'm really enjoying being unbeaten in 5 games. And as much as some people want to laugh at that, if we do beat Everton, it's our best sequence of results and unbeaten run in, I think, 3 years. And I'm someone that celebrates progression and milestones like that. Terry, take out that heat map gimmick. Heat maps
yeah,
on
because Semenyo doesn't want to be the next Nuno Mendes anyway.
But it's not about that. It's heat maps I think are really important to understanding where the position players take up on a pitch, as opposed to where Sky Sports puts them. Because Sky Sports graphics for me don't dictate how a team plays. Because how many teams play 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1, but their team and players don't operate in the same way as each other?
Yeah, but if you checked out DeMarco's heat map, probably be similar. That doesn't mean Semenyo wants to be the next DeMarco. I'm talking about him. If Semenyo gets a call, speaks to Ruben Amorim, and he says, we're going to play you wing back for the next 3 months, he's going to hang up the phone.
Well, actually, but it's not about being a wing. Again, you're hearing the word wing back and going, oh, no, it's like a regression for him. That isn't what he wants from our wing backs. Our left centre back does most of what most other people's left backs do defensively. Our wing backs do about the same level.
We know that. That's the 3-4-3 system. We understand.
Yes. So, but most of our wing backs do the same level of defending as most other clubs' wingers do, and the same amount of attacking as most other clubs' wingers do. It's just that other than Ahmad, our wing backs can't attack. So you're not seeing it provide any fruit. So I don't look at it as, I wouldn't, if I'm sitting down with any player for that role, it's not about I need you to be a defender. That's what the role's called, a left wing back. But your role within it is to be attacking. And all the defending you're going to do is the same as what you're doing now at Bournemouth. So unless Semenyo, the only time Semenyo says no, in my opinion, one, if a club more attractive comes along, like Arsenal right now, I get it, or Liverpool, or if he wants a role where he doesn't have to do more defensive work. If he said, no, I want to be Mo Salah, where I get to stay at the attacking end, I don't want to track back, I don't want to do that anymore, then of course he'd say no to a role like that. But if he's willing to do the defensive work, I don't see it being a problem personally. But heat maps, I'm never going to stop speaking about heat maps in my personal opinion. It will never happen, because it's a very important part of football to understand where players actually get on the ball rather than what Sky Sports show you on the screen.
We have cool family in the chat. They still think it's 1999. Yeah, I agree. It's just that's Mo's point as well. So
who still thinks it's 1999?
Anyway, what's the next hot take, Terry?
This is the thing about the 99 comment. You don't have to agree with it, but my point is this. I'm not saying he will say yes. I'm saying we should try to get him. That is my point. We should be trying to get him.
And I'm saying if you mention the word wing back on the phone, he's going to hang up. That's my point.
But then you've just sat here and spoke about ball. But I get accused of a lack of ball knowledge, but it just shows you don't understand what Ruben asks of his wing back.
I don't care what he asks of his wing back. You're missing the point. I think Semenyo wants to be the next Mo Salah, the next Bukayo Saka, the next Kvaratskhelia. He does not want to be the next DeMarco. I don't care how offensive.
But if our wing backs have the right attacking ability in a Ruben Amorim system, they won't be looked at as DeMarcos. They'll be looked at as attackers. That's what he wants. An example I will give you is this. Is there more than one way to play centre forward?
Yeah.
Yes. So my view is this, right? If Liverpool, when you had Firmino, he didn't play the same type of centre forward role as Haaland plays, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's it. So not every manager's left backs or right backs or wing backs play the same way as another team's left backs or right backs or wing backs. There are different ways of doing it. This here says, Terry, can you check Trossard and Semenyo's heat maps? I mean, Trossard, I can look at it. Let's have a look at Trossard's. Trossard is very different. Trossard spends most of there's a bright red mark on both sides of the pitch around about the halfway line in the attacking half. The rest of it's very yellow right across the board, because there's a lot of inverting that goes on there, where that's not what Semenyo does as much. He does come inside, definitely, but nowhere near. He isn't hugging a touchline defensively and offensively like Semenyo currently does.
Yeah, Semenyo, if you're listening to this, and if anybody of your friends listen to this, if you're a friend of Semenyo, people, please relay this message to him. Don't go, please, to Man United to play wing back. If Man United are going to change to 4-3-3, you can go and play a winger for Man United, but please, please, please don't go and play wing back for Manchester United. It's killing your career. It's killing your potential. They're going to kill you. You're going to defend. Don't listen to Man United fans. Don't listen to Man United fans. You're going to defend. Don't listen to Man United fans. I'm a team that has been playing 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it, for the next 6 years. Wing backs defend as well, and defend a lot as well. It's not an attacking role as much. Even Marcos Alonso used to defend at the Chelsea team. Yes, you can go forward and crash the 18 and cross and do all the stuff, but you're going to defend. You are at the end in the defensive part. You are a fullback. when your team doesn't have the ball. You're not high on the pitch. That's a reality.
So yes, go and be a winger in a team that uses 4 at the back, and when you're defending, you go back and defend in a fullback position. That's what I'm saying. Heat maps mean more than formations. But my point to you is this, Mo. You'll say going to Man United will ruin your career. 2 minutes ago, you just said Man United are the 5th best team in England. That's without a half-ass squad being built. So yes, the team that you've now said has gone from being 15th and crap, unattractive, and nobody wants to join 3 months ago, is now back to being the 5th best team in the hardest league in the world, where we're only about a third of the way into building the squad, but yet joining us would ruin his career.
Your head is so hot that your head is so hot that your ears are failing you when listening. I swear to God, you're so rattled, your ears are failing you. I literally said, don't go to Man United. They're gonna ruin your career if they play as a wing back. If they're gonna tell you they're gonna switch to 4-3-3, go there and play a winger. Literally, I said that, but your head was so hot that you only listened to the first part and you made up your mind that you want to respond. That's the problem. You want to respond, bro. You wanted to respond. You wanted to respond to the first part. That's why you didn't listen to the second part. When I told Semenyo, if Man United switch to 4-3-3, go and play as a winger. But you failed to hear that.
Again, though, only heard the first part. But what you're trying to do is cook me, but then you've also ignored...
I'm not trying to cook you. I said my opinion. You're trying to respond.
No. So let me just respond this way, and it's the final L for you on this before we go to the next hot take. At the same time, my reasoning for wanting him is based on what all the publications are saying about the evolution of what Amorim's system will look like and what Wilcox said we're training to. So equally, like I said, and I agreed and already said this, so you didn't need to repeat it. If it was left wing back for the next 6 years straight, I would understand it. But the likelihood is Man United's system and way of playing is going to evolve. So you're selling in both those parts of the process. Equally, as you said, we're now the 5th best team back in England. There's still multiple defenders, midfielders, and new attackers that are going to be added to this squad. That's quite an attractive proposition where I don't think his career will be ruined based on your own logic. So you've said that as long as he moves into one of those roles, which Wilcox said we're going to adapt into, we're building the squad more, 5th best team in the hardest league in the world. I don't think anyone would ruin their career based on your logic.
26 years old. He's going to move to Man United to play maybe the next 2-3 years. And then by the age of 28, 29, now you're going to be moving to a winger after you play 3 years as a wing back.
No, I don't think
in the bag, bro. Do the next hot take.
I don't think it'll be 3 years and we'll move on. Same age as in
okay to get cooked every now and then.
I'm not being cooked. I'm just stating my stance. So let's move on to the next one here. This one has come in and says Liverpool won't recover from this slump. The aura is gone. The spark is gone. And they are sliding straight out of the top 4. What do you say to this, Mo?
No, I think they're going to recover. Isak is going to come back. This is the new thing that is happening now. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday and they were giving all the reasons why Liverpool will not come back from this. I'm not saying, like, the people that keep saying that Liverpool are going to be out of the top 5, I think they're out of their mind. And I think they're doing the gimmick of, like, I'm going to predict the worst. If it happens, I'm going to say I'm right. If it doesn't happen, say, yeah, they're expected to recover. They have all these world-class players. Liverpool are going to recover. I'm not going to say they're going to transfer the league. I don't think that they're even, like, currently, I'm not going to completely rule them out from being in a title race because they have a big element to come back, which is Alexander Isak. I don't think that we're going to see Liverpool this bad. Winning 1 in 6 games is a lot, or 2 in 8 games. I think Liverpool will be okay. I think Liverpool will still in contention to finish 2nd or 3rd or something like this. I don't think they're going to finish below that. The reasons why: Salah will improve, logically speaking. He's not going to get worse. Even if he goes to AFCON, right? There is going to be Ikitike. Isak is still not embedded in the team completely. He deserves the cooking because of all the stuff, that the money and all the thing, right? So they're going to be better. This is not. It's not going to get worse. Like, it is not going to be like, I don't think, if you're telling me that Liverpool are going to be worse than this, that means you're expecting Liverpool.
It is impossible to be worse than 1 win in 6, though. That's my thing with that hot take. Like, you're saying Liverpool will spiral. We've spiraled. Like, legitimately, it cannot get worse than this. What is worse than this? What, 1 win in 8, 1 win in 9? If that happens, the manager will be gone. You know, I'm sure Terry probably spotted it on YouTube, but there's been like whole civil wars and crisis meetings and everything. We've had this conversation. Even the most strong slot inner that backs Arnie, including myself and everything, bro, if we don't win like the next 3 games, he will be sacked. Make no mistake. Like, this is Liverpool Football Club. Like, Roy Hodgson, it didn't go 1 win in 6, 1 win in 7. So we have to be honest about this. So, like, this whole thing of like, can you put up the hot take again? This whole thing of like, oh, it's gonna get worse for Liverpool. Like, it's gonna spiral even worse than this. Yeah, they're sliding out of it. The spark is gone, bro. Everything is gone already. Like you guys need to deep this. Yeah, you see 1 win in 6. You need to understand something. 1 win in 6 games in the Premier League. This is my problem with them. It says won't recover from the slump. Your prediction is mad, because eventually now Liverpool over this next month, Khalas, you can put it off now. The next month,
He wants his
Liverpool-
face on the screen, yeah. Just put it off. Let him speak.
I
with
need
his
Tarek
face
to
on
make
the
super
screen.
chat. Anyway, so in the next month,
I've got. Can I just say very quickly? The reason I've kept it up is because I'm trying to hide my tears from my supposed cooking, so that's why I left it up for so long.
Tarek, just let it go,
He's
man.
so rattled.
Let it go, Yahi. Anyway, I'm saying,
Come on, Habibi, just speak.
I legitimately do not believe it can get worse than this. Like, legit. 1 win in 6. What the fuck
Terry,
is worse than
I
this?
don't think Terry, you actually are convinced that it's not gonna get worse for Liverpool. Fucking 1 win in 6 Premier League games.
Terry, do you
That's
agree with me and
impossible.
Mo as well? You think it can't get worse than this?
This hot take is mental. I've been even when you guys have been having civil wars and going crazy, I've been sitting there watching, and this is my honest opinion of Liverpool right now. I feel, if I look at United last season, maybe not this last season, we were broken. You know, I'm going to give a life example. We had bills coming out of our ears and had no money. We had hole in the roof, no money to fix it, getting rained on at night. We were finished. No food. The water wasn't very nice. We were broke. What I feel Liverpool are arguing over is whose turn is it to clean the leaves out the swimming pool. I just don't think you guys. It's a crisis based on not winning the league, but this idea that Liverpool are done, finished, won't recover, won't start winning more games, I think it's the biggest load of bullshit I have ever heard in my whole life. And you guys eventually are going to get on a really good run again. You're going to win games. You're making the Champions League, no problem. I still think you might win a trophy this year, personally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
They
when
might.
people say, like, my thing is, right, I'm on my phone because I'm just loading up Liverpool's fixtures. Yeah, we're gonna be objective about the football club, and look, even both the guys on the panel will tell you I've been very objective about Liverpool this season, calling out players, manager, and everything. These are our fixtures from now
Managers
until
mainly.
manager. Anyway, so this is our fixtures from now until the Arsenal game. So I'm putting the Arsenal game to the side, right? I'm going all comps. Forest at home, PSV at home, West Ham away, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, Inter away, Brighton at home, Spurs away, Wolves at home, Leeds at home, Fulham away. Okay? So out of these next 10 fixtures on all comps, I'm being completely honest about this, the difficult game is Inter away, and probably I would say Fulham away is quite a difficult fixture. The rest, I'm saying, okay, Liverpool can actually go ahead and win these games. Liverpool could end up in these next 9 games with 7 wins and 2 draws, 8 wins and 1 draw. And this is not just me being toxically positive or whatever. I'm looking at these fixtures and I legitimately believe they're very winnable fixtures, very winnable game. And a lot of the games that we play are at home. Like the Sunderland game as an example. If that was at the Stadium of Light, I'd go like, fuck, like we watch Sunderland at home this season. They've been very difficult. But Sunderland away from home, they lost to Man United. So I expect us as well to beat them as an example. So like all these games that I've just mentioned, I expect to win probably all of them, except 2 I'm going to be a bit more scared before. That's all.
Can I show you something as well before Mo goes? This has come out from Opta today. So this is reviewing elements of last season, but also this season's form and everything else. It's Opta believe that Liverpool now have the easiest run when it comes to the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 games. They believe Liverpool's next 8 games are the easiest in the Premier League. That is followed by City's, the next easiest, then Palace, then Manchester United, then Bournemouth. Arsenal's, interestingly, is rated about the 8th hardest in this period. What's going to be really intriguing there is for the Wolves and the West Ham, Sunderlands, who actually are now going to have their hardest period of the season. Spurs are going to go into their hardest period of the season as well. But when you look at Liverpool's, as you say, you've kind of said exactly what Opta have said. You have very winnable games on paper. And I wouldn't be surprised if you came out of that run of games with somewhere close to maximum points. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's
Listen,
what I'm
I'm
saying,
gonna
like,
tell you that
you
something.
look at the games when
Is my,
people keep
is my
saying
ball
it's
knowledge
gonna
okay?
get worse.
Is my ball knowledge okay on that one? Is that? I just want to check. Oh,
When people say like, this
away
whole,
from Man United, you know ball.
yeah, away. Actually, I agree with that. Away from Man United, you're very objective, but with Man United, you always let your hearts get it. Big up Paz as well. He's become big up Paz in the chat. Hey, subscribe to Paz, man. The thing is with this thing is, look,
Why are we just cooking terrible?
nah, we need to just
I
let
mean,
it go.
it's fine to do it because you were the same guy that said laughed at the idea in Mbumo coming. That's why when it comes to who we might sign, I always find it funny. Every guy is the same. Most football fans in general. I remember doing the stream. I'd give you an example. I did a show. We were live on the top six show. We were live on the top
I said Mbumo was go to Man United.
Mo,
you're a liar, Mo. Don't lie. You
you
said he should go to Newcastle because of Champions League.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
What happened is it was on a Monday night. It was on a Monday night, though. We did six-sided, right? But in the week leading up to the six-sided show, every show we did when there was an Mbumo to United link, no chance, no way, not happening. We did six-sided and it got laughed at. No way would he join because, and this is why the Semenyo thing, I'm not saying we will get him, but no, why would he come and play in that weird 10 role? He's a winger. He won't want to come. It was an hour later, the bomber dropped that he's picked Man United over everybody else and rejected the Arsenals, Tottenhams, Newcastles. And that's the only thing that I find really funny is that every time it's suggested we can't get a player in the last couple of years, like one we're genuinely linked to, we've ended up doing it. So I hope it repeats itself there. But sorry, back to the Liverpool point. Sorry, gents.
It can't get worse than this, to keep it simple.
No, I hear you. No, I agree.
I know Liverpool fans are having like a meltdown. I actually think what Sam said is true. If it gets worse than this, Sluts is going to be sacked.
100%.
Like right away, like Khalas, he's going to be sacked and they're going to have a new manager bounce and the players are going to cook and like they will hire a manager that will make these players take.
We lose to Forest, draw to PSV and then lose the game after.
Over.
Getting sacked the day after.
That's it.
So if it gets worse than this, it will get better anyway because it's going to be.
That's why. Actually, the real conversation is that do people rule out Liverpool from actually getting back to being a title race? Where Man City, maybe they didn't have as bad as this, but Man City were still 6 points behind the league leaders. They were 7 points behind the league leaders and came back to actually challenge for the title. They won it a couple of times and that's it. So are we ruling that if Liverpool come back with this easy run-in, that they actually be within, like, let's just put an example. If Arsenal lose to Chelsea away from home, which is not far-fetched, Arsenal can go to Stamford Bridge and lose or drop points, 2 points, and then Arsenal still play Villa, and Liverpool win 3 games. Now the lead is back to 3 points or 2 points, and now Liverpool are going on a run.
Okay, can I tell you why I'm ruling it out? I'll give you an objective reason why I'm ruling out.
Yeah, I mean, you always play the underdog gimmick, the leopard in the
I'm not playing any gimmick. I'm not playing any gimmick.
Liverpool
so far have conceded 17 goals in 11 games. So defensively, it's been an absolute disaster. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is what you're saying is true. Arsenal and City will drop points more. You're 100% correct. If anyone says Arsenal and City are going to go perfect at the end of the season, no, they won't. Arsenal will drop points, City will drop points. You want to know the problem? We are asking Liverpool to be almost perfect. That's the issue here. Because the points difference is 8 points. So when I say I'm asking Liverpool to be almost perfect, how many games are left? 27 games, right? I would say, no exaggeration, Liverpool probably need to win 24 games and like draw 3 to win the league now from this position. So you're asking Liverpool Football Club basically don't lose any more games to the end of the season, be almost perfect, not perfect.
I don't want to go that far. I'm gonna ask. I don't want to go that far. I'm gonna ask you between. Forget City. We're gonna come to City between Arsenal and Liverpool. I'm gonna name you the next 5 games. Right. This is the next 5 games, people. That Arsenal play Spurs at home, Chelsea away. They play Brentford at home. They play Villa away, and then they play Wolves at home. Right.
There's only 2 fixtures Arsenal have that are difficult in that run.
Thank you. So I agree with you. Villa away and Chelsea away.
Yep.
Let's say Arsenal, maybe like how many points? Are we expecting Arsenal to drop points in both or 1?
Okay, I would say, let's say for the sake of this argument, they win 3, draw 2.
Great. 4 points dropped. In the next 5 games for Liverpool play Forest at home. Let's imagine that our logic that Liverpool will get better than winnable games that Opta said. Of course. So you win the next 5 games. That means that the 8 points now become 4 points. Why? Arsenal still have to go to City, and you still have to play Arsenal at the Emirates.
At
Now
the
it's in your
Emirates.
hand. Yeah,
That's another
now
thing.
but that's why I wouldn't put your favorites. I
And
would
we've got
say
to go to Goodison. And we've got to go to Old Trafford
Goodison.
the second half of the season.
Goodison.
Everton away. You know, Everton away is difficult for
Oh
us.
my
Stop
God.
it.
No, it's
Only
not Goodison anymore. It's not Goodison anymore. It's not Goodison anymore.
Man United away.
It's not Goodison anymore.
Man United away.
Didn't you play Man United away?
We have Chelsea at home as well. No, we played Man United at
You
home.
have to go to the Etihad. The toughest of them all.
But they play us at Emirates.
But this is what you don't understand. I'm not looking that far. I'm just looking in the next 5-6 games. If Liverpool get within 4
How are
points,
you not looking that far when Footy Judge Mo himself always says, when I speak about the team in a title, Footy Judge Mo always says, when I speak about the team in a title race, he says, April time, you have a chance to win. That's what. Isn't that what you always say?
yeah, but so that's my
So
point.
my point is, we have to be.
What is this?
Not
What does this have to
perfect,
do with my? What
almost
is this?
perfect.
What? Thank you for the information. What Footy Judge Mo says, right? What does this have to do with my argument for the next 5 games?
I'll tell you what it has to do with the argument. Mo will consider Liverpool in a title race if he believes come April time they'll be within conversation.
Okay, let's ask Terry, right? Like zero ball knowledge. Terry, in April, it's okay. I'm gonna move on from that joke.
I'm genuinely laughing. It's funny. Go on.
I'm just gonna move on. Comes April, if Liverpool recover within the next 5 games, let's put the conversation that me and Husam just had now. So for the sake of the argument, we assume that logically speaking, Liverpool will win the next 5 games and Arsenal will drop points twice. Draws, not losses, right? Villa away, which is very tough game, and Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. So the difference will be 4 points. At that point, Terry, December 13th, after these games, would it be crazy for me to say that I think now, comes April, I think Liverpool will have a shout to actually win the Premier League, comes March and April?
No, it's not crazy. And this
is my point.
And this is exactly why Arsenal are the favourites now, because of the points margin, but it's marginal. And we've lost sight of what the word marginal means. Yes, they have a points gap right now that looks massive, but it's early in the season. And the league title race is a marathon and not a sprint. We've all heard of the wives' tale fairy story, wives' tale, you know, the message from the hare and the tortoise. And these things can happen. And I'm not saying Arsenal are going to put their feet up and start sleeping, but all it takes is a draw against Spurs and a defeat. Drawing at home against Spurs this weekend and losing away at Stamford Bridge. I don't care how much of an Arteta hater, Arsenal hater you are. That's not obscenely bad results considering the context of those games. Okay, Derby and going away to Stamford Bridge, we were a very good team. If that happened and they get 1 point in the next 2 games and Liverpool win their next 2 matches, what's the points gap? 3. It's too early in the season for these points gaps to be looked at as the league race is over. Whether that's arrogant people planting seeds for Arsenal's demise or arrogant Arsenal fans thinking it's done, dusted, and over, it's crazy. Now, I think Arsenal are the favourites from this point. I think they may go on to win it from this point, but it's still marginal. And what that means is in 5 or 6 games' time, my mind could change depending upon results, performance, injury issues, and other teams improving. And it's hard in the course of the season. So I'm just not writing Liverpool off completely this season. But the one thing I would do in the next 4 or 5 games for Liverpool, because of their run, if those performances don't improve and they drop points in these next few games, then I think it is done. Because then you're looking at almost half of the season done. There'd probably going to be an even bigger points gap from the top. 3 or 4 teams ahead of them as well. And you look at it and go, hang on, it's not just catching Arsenal that might by then have a 10-point gap. It's Arsenal have a 10-point gap, City have an 8-point gap, Chelsea have a 6-point gap. And you look at it and go, that's a much harder thing to overtake all those teams. But I don't think, I wouldn't say Liverpool are 100% out of it right now. I think that's a crazy take personally.
Yeah, but that Liverpool fans always like to do that. They always like to do this. Remove the pressure from us. Husam, you guys do that. You guys do this.
As a team that's
I swear to God, you guys, yes, but you guys like to be like, Husam, you were top. I'm not. No one asked you to say that you're gonna win the league. No one asked you here. So don't tell us that we told you that you're gonna say that you're gonna win the league. No, none of us here. None of the people in the chat, right, told you to say that we're gonna win the league or put your chest out to win the league. But you guys like to do the underdog thing all the time. You guys like to do that. We're not there. We are not there. Oh, City are better than us. This is better than us. Yes, I understand the 17 goals, but Opta have said that you have the easiest running. So I'm expecting you to be within 4 points of the top by December. That is Liverpool with some. Just let me finish, please. Just with the best players out there, because that means if you win the next 5 games, as predicted, that means Hottake is performing. That means Van Dijk is performing. That means the players are performing again. Salah is performing, right? Because if they're not performing, right, that means the manager will get sacked based on your logic. So that means the players are. If you go on and win the next 5 games, that means your best starting 11 of the league. On paper, Liverpool have the best starting 11 in the league with the likes of Isak, Hottake, Wirtz. If these guys perform, I'm expecting you to actually be one of the forces in this league that comes April, March. You are there with a shout to win the league. Are you favorites? No. Arsenal are, because now they look better than you. But I'm building all of that based on you performing well in the next 5 games. This is the reality.
Okay,
But
and if it happens, we'll speak then. Listen, you need to understand something, both of you. The title race is a very fluid situation. If you believe that Chelsea aren't in the title race now, but Arsenal lose the next 2 games and Chelsea win both games and they're top, by definition, they'll be in a title race. So the title race is a very fluid situation. It's a very changing situation. We believe City are in the title race. If City lose the next 4 games, we can say City are out of the title race. As things stand, we are not in the title race because everything you're building is based off stuff we haven't seen yet. We haven't done yet. We haven't went out there and beaten these teams. So until we go out there and beat those teams and Arsenal do drop points, we'll have that conversation.
So are you expected to win? Are you Husam, done?
As of okay, actually, guess what? Arsenal are expected to win too against Aston Villa. If we go based off expected, I'm expecting them to win. Expected. The word you used is expected. Do we expect Arsenal to beat Aston Villa yet?
Okay.
There you go. See, we can both do this game. Suddenly, it's no longer.
What do you mean? I meant you know exactly. Are you expecting your team to win the next 5 games?
Yes, because if we don't win, the manager's going to be sacked, literally.
Okay.
Fair enough. Some viewers, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions on this. Just do some of these super chats here. This is Sam. Every game in the Prem is a droppable fixture when teams smell blood in the water, my friend.
That's my thing, Gareth. That's legitimately my point. Like, by the way, teams aren't facing Liverpool now with like the fear factor that we had last season or in 1920 or in 1819. It's different now. That fear factor is gone, and we've got to build that up again.
I hear
There's
that.
so many different factors, you guys.
Excuse me. Liverpool must drop Slot and sign Big Ange. He would turn them into a demonic attacking force. I can already see Husam singing his praises.
No, I don't want Postecoglou at all.
Spill the tea. Lou says we are over a quarter of the way through the season. Are we going to stop saying it's too soon to judge things yet?
I am Lou. I'm with you in that camp.
I'm with you.
Nobody should say it's too soon. We are past the quarter of the season. We're third of the season. It's too soon. Yeah,
I'm 6'7" with it, right? I'm 6'7". I'm mimicking my kids here. They keep doing that in the house. The other day we were watching Strictly Come Dancing, and the scores came out 6 and then 7. They went mental, like something good happened. For me, I'm with that. You're right. I think you're right on some areas and wrong in others. So, for instance, I don't think it's too early to judge Arsenal as a vastly improved team from last year. I think it's too early to say that Man United have turned a corner and we're going to become consistent. So I think some things are still too early to judge. I think other things, because of the last 3 to 4 years, we know how good Arsenal have been generally in the last 4 years. And they're kind of back to that level of 2 years and 3 years ago, where with Man United, it's a very small sample size. So you are right in some areas, but that's why it's about having conversations. Husam supporting Zamalek.
Like supporting everything. No, it's not.
I don't know who that is. What's that?
Zamalek is like Man United.
Oh, okay.
No, they aren't, but fine. They aren't.
Liverpool is Al Ahly. African Champions League winners.
The difference in league titles is massive, bro. You have the same league titles as Man United, bro.
This is Semenyo should go to Liverpool to win the feet up trophy.
I want to ask Terry a question about this, and I know that the next hot take is about this. I'm asking you, Terry, a question. I'm putting you on the spot. If you are advising Semenyo, remove Man United from the equation, or Man City. Semenyo in January. Imagine that Liverpool turn it back, and they win 5 games, but Arsenal are top of the league, would you advise Semenyo to go to Liverpool in same money, same role, both? He's going to be the starting left winger for both. Would you advise him to go to Arsenal or Liverpool?
It's very hard to remove my Man United bias. No, because it is.
I need you to remove Man United bias and talk as a pundit, like you asked Gary Neville to speak and Jimmy Carragher to speak and these guys.
It would be Liverpool, because Liverpool don't have anyone barring young Rio, who's a natural-sided left winger. And I think that where with Arsenal, there's still going to be competition. I think he walks straight into this Liverpool team, because I think as a left winger, he's better than everyone Liverpool have got. There are arguments with other players at Arsenal, and I don't know if Arteta would put him straight in. So if I'm his agent, they're the questions I'm asking both teams. Is my player coming in to go straight into your first team? I think Arteta might say, no, he's got to fight. By the way, somebody would have to leave Arsenal. He might have to fight Martinelli, Eze for those roles, where I think at Liverpool, was he fighting Gakpo on the left? No. Who's he fighting? Young Rio? No. So I think he goes straight in at Liverpool there. To be honest,
fair enough. You think he starts for Liverpool, doesn't start for Arsenal right away? Fine.
Also, speaking of ball knowledge, I got this DM here. I want to big up Ricardo, who has sent me this DM. And he said, Terry, don't let them test your ball knowledge. This is the Sporting fans. What he said here, he goes, yes, in Ruben Amorim's early days at Sporting, he actually used... Now, listen, I just want to read this out.
I think you know why we're laughing, but fine. You're so rattled. You have to get a DM on Twitter.
You have to get a DM.
You have to get a DM on Twitter.
Someone DM me. See, this is what I mean. This is Ricardo. You've rattled them. They can't handle this because they don't have the knowledge.
Bro, I'm sure Terry Flowers over 100K followers. He
Can I
gets
finish?
tons of DMs. He opened that DM to back his point.
Someone messaged me saying, open your DMs. So what they said is, in his early days at Sporting, the likes of Pedro Porro and Mendes were used in his wing-back positions, who were primarily defenders that were left and right-footed on the correct sides. But over time, that started to evolve with the likes of, obviously, Sales came into it, but the likes of Quenda and the likes of, and I don't even know who all these players are, Gini, Katamoto, etc., being used. These guys were predominantly wingers. They got converted into wingbacks and were being used on the inverted side. So the point I'm making here is, this is only from a Sporting fan, that over the course of time, he's used some defenders who are naturally footed to the side they're on, and he's used wingers in all those and in those roles who have inverted in the sense of they're playing on their weaker side. Both were quintessential parts of his squad, according to this Sporting fan. So that's the only reason I put it out there is because I think it's what Ruben likes. And what Man United are looking for is that multifaceted nature. Sometimes you might want a left footer on the right. Sometimes you want a right-footed player on the right. And I think you could sell that to him. I'm only putting that out there from a Sporting fan. Thank you for backing me on this. The idea that it's impossible and Amorim don't play that way is crazy. Whether Semenyo buys it or not is a different argument. But there we go. Thank you very much, Ricardo, for your comment there, my friend. I appreciate that. Let's do the next hot take, because it kind of relates to the Liverpool conversation we were having. And this here is from Ade, who says, Arteta outers are secretly buzzing over Gabriel's injury because it gives them the chaos they've been waiting for. The moment Arsenal wobble, they'll jump out shouting, I told you so, acting like our team falling apart somehow validates their agenda. That's an interesting hot take.
I'm sorry if anyone. Look, I'm going to say it this way: if someone is buzzing that a player or a team is not doing well for the good of the club, does that make them not fans? For example, we have had this. If people wanted Ten Hag to lose games for Manchester United because they don't think that Ten Hag will win them the title, and because the faster the better, the faster you get hit, the better for you to learn. Is that not being just negative and not being a club? So if someone thinks that Arteta is not good enough to win them the club, and he wants Arteta to fail as quickly as possible, so he will get sacked, does that make them not a fan? You know, like some of the Liverpool fans now that say the faster the better, we get rid of, like some of the people that are Liverpool fans, maybe they are extremes, they don't think that Arne Slot will turn it around, and they think he's bad for the future of the club, for the investments and stuff, and they think the faster the better he gets sacked, And I know I'm not winning the title, so I want him to get sacked quickly.
I don't think it means people are not fans. I think this has happened on social media. I've got a very quick take on this one, and it's that I think football fans in this space, YouTubers, TikTokers, etc., some people get almost hijacked by their desire to be right. That it's that feeling of being right actually supersedes the feeling of watching their football team win. And we know that you get a buzz when your football team scores a goal, wins a match, wins a trophy. We all know that. But I think for some people, that dopamine release now is from getting an opinion right. So it's almost, and I'll give you an example. I've said this for a long time. I think some people now get a similar kick out of winning debates or being seen as correct in football debates online as the football hooligans in the 70s and 80s got from punching someone in the face or even taking a beating and feeling alive for it. I think the dopamine release it's giving is similar. The football is attached to it. Like those football fans that went to those games were more interested in the fight before or after the game with rival fans than they were the football. I think some content creators are now more interested in winning a debate than they are the football. It's secondary. So if anyone's, I don't think it's they're not Arsenal fans, or in United's case, United fans, or Slot's case with Liverpool fans. I think being right supersedes everything else in that conversation for me. That's what I think it is.
I know why. I know why. People found, this is very deep. I don't know if you guys want to go there. People found themselves on social media. The problem is some of the people found their true voice in social media. So they want to prove themselves right. Their life is on social media. Their life is on the platforms. So this is the thing that is going for them. I believe, that is my opinion, I believe that the people that have more to life outside of social media, Twitter or whatever, or Twitch, whatever, YouTube, whatever, I think these people, once they leave YouTube, I think they think about, oh, I'm going to the gym. I having a dinner with my family. I got a trip to plan. I got work to do, or I got something to do. I think when their life revolves around the football opinion, they must have something going for them, which is the opinion. I must be right in one thing in life, which is my opinion must be correct. So I will fight to the last drop of my life to actually be right on that, even if it goes against my beliefs, And I think that is what's going on. It's okay. We all get things wrong. Nobody, like for example, if I'm predicting Man City playing Arsenal in the next round, the second round of the Premier League, right? Yeah, I most likely might get it wrong, right? Like things can change. I can't find my life.
Can I give people an example of Man United, right? And I won't use myself. I'll use Staffy as an example. There's certain United players Staffy doesn't like. There's certain words Staffy doesn't like, as in objectively supporting Mount. We all saw those debates in the group chat. But then when we actually had a conversation, he's like, well, if he goes through one-on-one on goal to score, I'm cheering for him. If he scores, I'm celebrating the team winning. That's somebody that isn't putting their opinion on a player being good or bad above the emotional connection they have to their football club, but still having an opinion. For me, if you watch someone's watch along, or if you see someone's TikTok reaction, or if you read you saw Craig Hope this week as an example. He's doubling down so hard as a journalist to prove that Jude's a problem, that it's created an even bigger issue. He stopped almost talking about the football. It's more about, I've got to keep doubling down to prove I'm right. That's where it becomes an issue. So I haven't seen any Arsenal fans celebrating this. I'm only going by the hot take that was put out here. But if you're suddenly seeing an Arsenal fan who's like, oh, we're going to get to see now how good this squad is, all the Arteta winners, you're going to feel stupid when we lose our next few games. If they're in a good mood about that, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't do it. I'm stating, has the football discourse become more important now than the football itself? And by the way, it's fine if it has. I mean, there are some YouTubers in the football YouTube space who I react to what people say and do. It's what I've done for 7 years. But it's been about their opinion on football. There are now people that react to people reacting to football, but their comments are all about the content creator. So it's already happening. There are YouTubers now whose job or their content is about reacting to the content creator, but then talking about the content creator and not their opinion of football. So it's already evolved in that way. So maybe that's all we're seeing here is the next evolution of content, which is people caring more about winning debates. And I suppose you see it in the political world in this space. All the political commentators, most of them are not running for office. trying to get in jobs where they're actually changing policy and fixing their country. It's all about fighting the ideology, if that makes sense. So maybe we're there with it. But
you're a celebrity now. People, you have to watch what you say and what you're doing.
I think people just have and this is, to be honest with you, like a deeper conversation than anything. I think some people think their opinions have heightened importance. I think some people think that their opinion is more relevant than anyone else's opinion. I think some people think that they are the truth speakers. And, we were all probably victims of doing this ourselves, probably a couple of years back, 3 years back, 2 years back. We've all done this before. So it's not just an individual person or someone. Like, people, like, when the season went really badly under Jurgen Klopp and we finished 5th, I did spend the whole year saying, I told you so. So I understand, because I did say during the summer, and I was attacked for it, basically, that we need to invest in the team, we need to invest in the squad, and shit is just too much and blah, blah, blah. But then during the season, I would have done anything to see Liverpool win, and I get cooked. This is where, for me, there is a crossroads when it comes to this whole thing. And it's very important to acknowledge the crossroad. Let's use Liverpool as an example. If someone currently is slot out, by definition, objectively, he should still want Liverpool to win because he supports the Liverpool Football Club. If someone is Arteta out, he should still want Arsenal to win because he is a supporter of Arsenal Football Club. So regardless of what your stance is on players or managers, you should always want your club to win. You should always, the badge, that's what matters. The thing that you're wearing over here, that's what matters. You should want Liverpool Football Club to win objectively as a Liverpool Football Club fan, as a supporter. I did not want Darwin Núñez at Liverpool Football Club. I called out the signing before it happened. I wanted Darwin Núñez to score every single tap-in that he missed, but he didn't. So I did not rate the player. I wanted him sold. When he left Liverpool Football Club, I was happy. So I do think that there is a crossroads when it comes to this. I don't think there's anything wrong with people saying, I told you so. I don't think there's anything wrong with people saying, like, yeah,
I agree.
I did say that we have a thin squad in the summer and this is getting exposed. This is fair enough if you believe that. But at the same time, where I draw the line is you should always want your football club to win under all circumstances.
I hear you, but I disagree with you. Trophies, yes. Games, no. For the bigger picture, the people that wanted Man United to lose because they knew that they're not winning the league, the people that wanted Ten Hag, it's their. I'm not saying they are right or wrong in their opinion. It's their opinion. From their point of view, they think Ten Hag would hurt the team more. I've heard Saeed say once something, it was Nuruddin and him, and they said something. From their point of view, it makes a lot of sense. They said the more, and Staffy said that, the more this guy stays, every week he stays, we go back a month. So more weeks means more months back. So I understood from their point of view, they are convinced that the more he stays, the more he ruined players more. They said it would require more time to recover. So they wanted him to be gone.
I agree with again, there are times where I think I told you so is fine, especially when we, like us three, debate each other. We're friends, we get on really well, we dig each other out, we have a laugh, we have a joke, and I think it's fine in that context. And this is where I always say this, I think we've all got to do better. There was a time where I wanted Ten Hag to go, and I'm sitting here and going, I think it's one more. I feel like if we lose one more game, he'll go. I don't see him turning it round, so I'd rather lose that next game and he'd be gone. That's because based on my belief. What I'd have loved to have happened is to have won that game and he wins the next 10 games. We turn the corner and we go on to win the Premier League. That's what I want to happen, but I don't see it happening. Again, there's a distinction. Where I think the Arteta in and out, going back to this comment, this hot take, is different. Is I understood in the beginning why lots of Arsenal fans didn't want Mikel Arteta, fresh manager, club was in a mess, they wanted to win trophies, and his start was poor. We all remember it. We all lived it. We don't need to rewrite that. But that corner has been turned in the sense of a lot of the predictions where we'll never get back towards a Champions League spot, we'll never get into a title race, let alone win one. The only thing he will never win a trophy, he won the FA Cup. The only thing that hasn't happened yet is one of the major trophies, and it's a fair comment to have. The issue is it's the kicking the can down the road, because I remember there was a ferocious debate on one of our top 6 shows with a couple of Arteta outers where they said, if he ever gets us into a title race, I'll fully back him. They got into a title race. They didn't fully back him. And I think that's where people get frustrated. So Nudden and Said's example, they were right. It was doomed. Like one win probably wasn't going to turn things round. But if Ten Hag had stayed from last season and now we were in a title race and we were purring and playing well, I don't think Said.
I believe they would have been behind him. They would be behind him.
I don't think Nordin. I don't think myself would have sat there and gone, oh, I can't wait for us to go for a bad run so I can say I told you we should have been sacked, because we'd have seen the change. And I think there's a difference in that. And look, as I say, everybody does these I told you so things at times, because you can't not when you're having personal one-to-one debates with people. You remember I said this would happen. Do you remember, for instance, if we go, and by the way, Fabrizio Romano has just now on his YouTube channel said that Man United are looking for a winger stroke number 10 that can also play in a fullback role, that's athletic, skillful, pacey, and scores goals. So the point is, Semenyo fits the bill for that. If Semenyo was to get signed, I'm going to come at you two and go, I told you we could get him, right? But that's different. That's a bit of fun. I think it's when that doesn't get in front of my club's joy. I don't think Mason Mount's very good. When he scored the goal against Sunderland, I'm buzzing and I'm happy. I'm not sitting there going, oh no, I'm celebrating a guy that I don't rate. It doesn't come into my head. And by the way, I think this is more TikTokers than it is YouTubers, by the way, the short format stuff more than anything else. On that take, this kind of feeds into the next one. And then I want to speak a bit about the North London derby. But this here from CFC Gods says, Arsenal fans panicking over Gabriel's injury are doing more damage than the injury itself. Their meltdown will rattle the squad and spark a collapse.
I agree with this guy. I agree. Day 115 of 1,400.
That's not Lewis.
Of your world champs, Chelsea. Anyway, so as I was saying, I agree with this guy. I think Arsenal have enough squad depth. And I think Arsenal have what it takes regardless. I don't think you look at this Gabriel injury and I think it affects this team this much, to be honest with you. Like, he is, for me, the player of the season. He is, for me, an unbelievable player so far this season. I think he's probably been the best. He has been the best centre-back in the entirety of the league. But the way that Arsenal defend as a unit, as a team, the way that Arteta sets up the squad and the team to defend, and the fact that they've got Mosquera, Calafiori, Timber, Hinchcapie, a lot of options, I don't think Arsenal fans should be as worried as some are. Now, when I look at the next 5 games, me and Mo have agreed on this already. The only games where we see, okay, it might be a bit troublesome is Villa and Chelsea. But Chelsea would have been a difficult game even with Gabriel. Aston Villa would have been a difficult game even with Gabriel. I don't look at Mosquera, Hinchcapie, and these players and think, oh man, these guys are a bunch of bums. I think they're good players. I don't think they're bad players. The Hinchcapie example against Brighton is disingenuous because there was a lot of rotation in that team, including midfield, including attack. So a lot of things were changed. It wasn't just Hinchcapie for Gabriel and run it. It was different things. So I think there are a lot of options now. You could move Saliba left centre back, play Mosquera right centre back. You could play Calafiori left centre back, play Lewis Kelly left back. You could do so many different things. I get it. Arsenal fans, like, when a player like this gets injured, you have every right to be upset if he's been the best player literally like in the whole league. I get it. But at the same time, the other side of the coin is what the guy in the hot take said, which is, listen, we spent all summer saying Arsenal have the best squad. It's time to use the squad now. So let's go. I think
there is Arsenal a difference. We spoke about this yesterday. There is a difference between a squad that is maybe you rotate and having one of your main players, or probably one of the most important. I actually think that Gabriel, because of his contribution to the set pieces and because of his contribution as a leader at the back, is the most important player at Arsenal, in my opinion. And if you lose someone like this for a long period of time, this is where the worry should be. So I understand why Arsenal are worried. There is a difference between you have the depths. Yeah, Hinchcapie can play there, can play against Bayern, can play one game, can play 60 minutes, 45 minutes. But for the problem with the media, and I keep repeating this, is that everyone keeps telling Arsenal, you told us you have the best depth, so you should be okay. But what about the forward line? Arsenal are going to the Spurs game, right, without any striker fit from 3. So basically,
you're changing the question now.
People are saying that Arsenal are going
You're
to
changing the question now.
I'm not changing the question.
You are.
Arsenal,
because we're not discussing Arsenal's injury overall. He's talking about Gabriel specifically.
I believe, but it's part of it. You
No,
compensate.
No,
without a striker, you compensate for having that big weapon in set pieces because you don't have a striker. Why are you denying all of this? Arsenal have a big weapon in set pieces. You lose the big part of it, plus you have no striker, right? So that means your attacking power went backward, went down a little bit, went down a couple of notches. So for me, I understand why Arsenal fans are actually upset about this. And the problem is the media keeps telling them, yeah, you should be okay. Don't complain. Don't complain. Well, everyone complains. Man City complains when they don't have Diaz in the team, let alone Gabriel. I'm not going to say that Van Dijk or something like this. And also, all the people that keep saying the depth is good for Arsenal. But there is a difference between not having your main player for a game or 2 games or 2 months, for example. In the busiest period of the season, the festive period, everyone knows this, is the busiest period of the season. From November till Christmas is the busiest before the January. If he's out for 2 months, people, Gabriel will not be back before the FA Cups mid-January, where the Premier League stops. But nobody wants to talk about that.
No, I hear you, and it's a blow for them. It is a blow. There's no doubt, and there should be an element of disappointment. But do you know what I kind of noticed yesterday was I agree with not the super chat, with the hot take to a certain degree. It's stay calm, Arsenal fans. I think the panic isn't what's needed. I just don't think Arsenal as a club react well to panic or too much criticism. I think they need like an even keel. And that's why, and I know a Spurs fan very early on this show said, why the negative title? This isn't what I think is going to happen. I haven't even thought about the game that deeply yet. But I think Arsenal need to hurt Spurs this weekend. I think what Arsenal need the players to do to get the fans to relax a little bit after drawing the Sunderland game. 2 or 3 of their injured players like Victor Gyökeres and Kai Havertz have had slight setbacks. Now Gabriel out. I feel like they need a really good win. They need to hurt Spurs, beat them 3-0, beat them comfortably, just to relax again. Because it's so early in the season to be having these kind of worries and panics at this point. I also do think that Arsenal have got one of the best squads in Europe. I really do. But I think what they also need is Arsenal fans to remain calm. You play an important part in the way your team performs. And I think you've got to stay as relaxed as possible, even though it is frustrating. Because I agree with what Husam said, and I agree with the comment. You're almost making it into it's a big thing, but I feel like you're making it even bigger than it really is. You know, I don't think
so. Okay, it's big squad, yes, and top squad. I think that Arsenal should win against Spurs because Spurs also have injuries. But Arsenal are going with basically 3 options up top. None of them is a striker. Arsenal, out of all the attackers, have 2 fit. Saka and Martinelli. Nobody else is fit. Madueke out. Sorry, Saka and Trossard. The 3 strikers are out. So all that depth in the forward line is not there. Guys, all that best squad in the league is not there. It's Saka, Trossard. The 3 forwards are out. The backup right winger is out. The starting left winger is out. And plus, Odegaard is out. People keep forgetting this, guys, that all of these players are out. Yes, Arsenal have a very deep... Now, pair that with the leader at the back that contributes a lot to your set pieces. Now, all of these, and to be honest, I don't want to mention this because people are going to say I like Arteta too much, which is I like him as a good coach. The fact that we're sitting here and Terry's saying that Arsenal need a comfortable win, and he believes that Arsenal can have a comfortable win against a Spurs team that is first in the away table because of Thomas Frank, without all these elements for Arsenal, it shows how good Arteta has been for this team. That we as panelists and people on Sky Sports and TNT and TalkSport and in the media are saying, yeah, Arsenal should win against Spurs, should slap Spurs at home. Well, are you looking at the context? It's either you say Arteta is a magnificent coach and a genius to make you believe that even with all these injuries, Arsenal should and slap Spurs, or you admit that you're biased. There is no other way around it. Right? If my team Inter has 1 striker fit and plays 2 strikers, and I have the leadership at the back is missing, my main creative midfielder is out, and I'm asking my team to slap AC Milan or something even at home, that means my manager is a genius. Basically, if he can come up with that plan. All these injuries and the media's not talking about it. It's crazy.
I don't trust Spurs to go away to the Emirates and win because they have a
Well,
horrendous record.
And I never said that, but Spurs are
Well,
first.
so-
They can get a draw.
If
Spurs,
Arsenal go away to
Spurs
Stamford
also,
Bridge and
by the way, Spurs have
Yeah.
13 players out right now. Spurs have got even
Yes.
more first-team players out than Arsenal. So they are getting some players back though, right? Arsenal. They're like 3 or 4 on their injury list that are meant to be back now, and I'm sure there'll be updates between now and then. I think Calafiori is going to be fit. I think that's already been said.
we checked, I
Martinelli's
think, the last
expected back.
15 Premier League games. I think it's like 13 wins for Arsenal and 2 draws or something. Like, so the
Yeah.
record for Arsenal has been unbelievable.
I hear
against
you,
Spurs.
and again, I just, not all, some people here say no, we're right to be frustrated. I'm not saying you shouldn't be frustrated, but I just sometimes think, look, I've said this before. You get those games, United, City, FA Cup final. No way, everyone wrote us off straight away. I think that will get into the dressing rooms. What did it do? United were more up for it than usual. City maybe a bit complacent. I think sometimes the message you send out to your team can impact them, especially if there's the element of, we've seen managers do it before and we've criticized them when it's like, yeah, well, it's hard for me. We're going to struggle today. Why? Because I don't have enough of my players available. Jose did it early part of the season where he got sacked at United. Oh, too many of my players aren't here. This ain't my team yet. This ain't my squad yet. And that's a really bad thing to say about the team that you need to go out there and perform. Now, I think fans also have a similar impact in that way. This here says, why is it okay for City to cry about Rodri then? I don't necessarily think it is. That being said, City have still won major trophies.
Once again,
when
that's
they've
the
had big players
difference.
out.
First of all, there's a difference between City crying and Arsenal crying because City won when they had their players fit. And the second thing is, who was Rodri's replacement? Kovacic. Who's Gabriel's replacement? Mosquera, Hinchcapie, Calafiori, Timber, Ben White. There's levels to this.
Kovacic's level is much better than Hinchcapie and Mosquera. What are you talking about, bro?
But they don't have
You
to play
never,
Hinchcapie.
you never watch Mosquera play for Valencia. You watch Mosquera in cameos for Arsenal. You watch
Well, you should
Hinchcapie. Bro, you're talking about, this is the problem. You're feeding
Arsenal
into
are
the
gonna beat
narrative.
Spurs anyway. What are we doing here?
Fine. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
MSR here says they have squad depth. Replacing their best player isn't the same as rotating Trossard, who also starts regularly. Gabriel is their most important player. That's fair. That is fair. At the same time, the one thing I will still say is we still don't know whether it's going to be 4 weeks or 8 weeks. They haven't got all the test results back yet at this point. And that's very key because it could end up being 4 weeks, which again will change the mood.
I think what you said is very important. I think what I said yesterday on the show as well is that what I don't like about Arsenal fans is the crying about it's already 2 months. They're already being pessimistic. Why are you assuming it? You want to cry? Do you want to complain that it's 2 months? Everyone told you it's between 1 month and 2 months. Why are you assuming the worst? Why are you assuming it's 2 months and start crying? I think that is one of the things.
But I suppose there might be that element we spoke about earlier with the Arteta outers. Like if they were to beat Spurs but then lose to Bayern Munich and Chelsea, I think the narrative will just be, see, we told you all we're not winning the league. And it becomes that maybe half of this is the fear of that. Like someone said this the other day in a super chat, though. They said that Arteta outers will claim that Arteta inners think Arteta is bigger and more important than the club. And he's super chat then to actually think it's both those groups that have made Arteta more relevant than the football club. Maybe it's this fear of, oh, we know what's coming if we drop a few. And that's the issue, isn't it? It's the and the Arteta outers feel the same. If they win the next couple of games and extend the lead, they're going to be saying, oh, we're going to have to hear about how we're running away with the league. They lose a few games. The Arteta inners like, oh, we're going to have to hear about how we're throwing it away. And I think there's a big group of Arsenal fans in the middle of those two groups of numpties going, fuck's sake, do we have to, does everything always have to be a macro, wide-angled conversation? Can't you just review that game in that moment? I think there's a lot of that going on
Are you
too.
Arteta out or Arteta in? That's a question that everyone gets asked.
No.
Bro.
So jarring. It's not just the injury frustration of accumulated injuries that seem like this is non-stop at the moment. Our injured players are getting re-injured.
Because Havertz got like a...
There's a relapse. Yeah, there's a relapse in it. Yeah. You guys know I was done with Mikel Arteta, but that doesn't mean he can't turn it around. He just needs...
There are objective things about being a fan. I think you should support your club regardless and want your club to win anyway.
Yeah,
I think above anything, you should always want your football club to win. Even the Ten Hag example that Mo gave. Let's assume Ten Hag won 10 games in a row and United went on to finish second. You can't just make like I get it. Someone is slotted, someone's Arteta, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, you should want your club to win. I get it. You don't have belief in the manager. That does not mean that you want your club to lose a game.
And Lou said it earlier that sort of changing your opinion because facts change or new information becomes available. That isn't flip flopping. That's maturity. Changing every week is what I'd consider flip-flopping. So you're Arteta out when you draw to Sunderland. You beat Spurs 3-0, you're Arteta in. You draw with Bayern Munich, you want him sacked on the spot. That type of behaviour, maybe a little less frequent, is what I call someone who's flip-flopping. They're not waiting for anything to change. But I know, again, I use Staffy as an example because he's on our shows. Doesn't believe Amorim can turn it round. I think if the next 15 games go by, we only lose one of them, we're performing well home and away, sitting third in the league, lots of players are playing well, there's a possibility that you would see Staffy goes, you know what, I think I might have got that assessment wrong. That isn't a flip-flop. And that's one thing I push back against.
Lose now. You guys are too happy. Anyway,
all right, bro. Speak to you soon. Hot take. Doku will be top 3 in the Premier League this season. Top 3 player. Could be.
Top 3 players, my friend. That is top 3 players. It's crazy.
If he continues like in the last month, if he does that for another 3, 4, 5 months, there's always that possibility. Kai, Noni, Odegaard, Jesus, Martinelli are back. Now, Kai Havertz is end of December, bro. They've now said. Gyökeres is a doubt, but might be.
Odegaard is out until late November. I'm just reading about it. Martinelli is back in December. Noni Madueke is not even early December as well. So December.
Yeah,
so they are out for the next 3 games.
There's a couple more weeks out for some of these players. Yeah, it's not as yeah. City in 22-23 had KDB and Haaland out for the same time. No one said City were overperforming. Kai's injury was before the season started, so Arsenal knew if Victor got injured, they would have no one.
No, they couldn't shift Gabriel Jesus, and that's why they signed a striker. And also, they didn't account for Martinelli also being injured. And Madueke
have got Mikel
Odegaard being injured as well. Like, why do people go crazy? It's like all of these players are injured, and I'm supposed to sit here. Like, imagine tomorrow, Foden is injured, Shirk is injured, Doku's injured. And then, they have Haaland. As they should. The Haaland should be all right. And then Haaland gets rested for a game, and they have nobody.
A lot of Arsenal fans seem to suffer with post-Wenger stress disorder. So any difficulty sets them off. Reggie, I think there is PTSD in this, and I understand that. And I totally, that's a really good explanation. I do think there is a set of panic. But the Arsenal fans I'm talking about are the ones who 2 weeks ago said they were going to win the quad, who then go, oh my God, the world's coming to an end because of a few injuries. They're the ones who I'm like, you guys have got to calm down a little bit. I really do think you got to chill out a little bit. Personally, I
think the media triggers them, bro. The media triggers them. If I'm opening TalkSport every day, Arsenal should do okay. Arsenal should be okay. Arsenal should be okay. You have the depth. You told us you have the depth. You should be okay. And they are dismissing that injury as it's not a major one, a hamstring injury for your main player. This is ridiculous. It's nuts, bro.
I hear that. This other hot take is connected to this. By the way, viewers, I'm going to touch on the Saka new deal on the tomorrow show, just because, again, your super chats have dictated the direction of this show, which is more what this is about, you guys. But this here from Winap, who says the results Arsenal get in the North London derby will determine if they are champions or not. Win, I think it means gonna be champions. Anything else, they'll fail to win silverware. So Winap here thinks that this weekend is pivotal.
No, I don't think
pivotal moment for Arsenal season.
It is pivotal, but I think it doesn't decide if Arsenal are going to win the league or not. It doesn't. There's too many factors out there, because Liverpool still have to play City away at the Etihad later in the season. And also I'm expecting this as a dub for Arsenal, and anybody that is saying that Arsenal are title contenders are expecting this as a dub. If they lose, I'll be very surprised. I think, yes, Arsenal should win. And if they win this, it doesn't mean that they're going to win the title. If they lose, it might mean what he said. But if they win, it means a regular win, routine win for Arsenal that should win the game. That's what I want to say. Like, it's not make or break. Is when if you win this, you win the title. If you lose it, you're out. If Arsenal win this, it doesn't mean they're going to win the title. It doesn't. There's still the Chelsea game. There's still City game. There are other games, to be honest.
I think if they beat Spurs and beat Chelsea, so just stick to the next 2 league games, I don't think that guarantees the league. I don't think if they lose one of those games and draw one, if they draw both, I don't think that means they lose the league, personally. Now, this might trigger Staffy, because Staffy doesn't like you talking about other opinions that you don't hold by looking at it from the other side. He gets very triggered by that. But I think it's maybe a little more of a slightly more accurate take if you said, with these injuries, if Arsenal were to win their next 3 games, so beat Spurs, beat Bayern, beat Chelsea, that might then give them the confidence that even with 3 or 4 of your top players out, they can win the big games, beat the big teams, and maintain that points difference. In terms of injecting confidence into the squad and the fans, they can ride out those storms. That I still wouldn't agree with that take fully because it's still so early in the season. But that makes more sense than beating a very weakened Tottenham team at home, who they always beat. Even when Tottenham were better than them, they always beat them at home. So I think the take would be closer to reality if they included the Bayern Munich and Chelsea games in there, if that makes sense.
Yes. I don't think the Bayern Munich matters. The game matters at all, by the way. I think Arsenal should rotate in the Bayern Munich game. I think if they get a draw, it's fine. Arsenal already won 4 games. They already smashed Atletico Madrid. They're going to go as top 8. So I don't think this game matters at all. I think if there is a rotation to happen, it should happen in the Bayern Munich game because they should focus more on the Chelsea and the Spurs game. And I know that if Arsenal don't win against Bayern, people will crash it on Arsenal. See, I told you they are in the best squad in the world. I told you this. I told you that. I don't think Arsenal should focus that much on the Bayern Munich game because we have learned last season that basically top 8 doesn't matter as much as people think.
I also think that's why there's a lot of people. I always notice this. Like there's a few people like my members. They'll message me privately, like, "Man, I'm not going to come on for a little bit. Why? Oh, I just know if we lose this or this happens, all the other conversations are going to get thrown in our faces." And you are right. You Paul Sanga. If they were to lose a couple of those games, it would be, "Oh, I thought it was the best squad in the world." That being said, that's why, again, I said the other day when it comes to content, people are free to super chat that, free to call into the terrace, free to come on my panels and say what they want. But from my perspective, I watched the best team in the world last year struggle in the first periods of the season and grow in the second half. Losing a few of Arsenal's next couple of games doesn't mean they don't have one of the best squads in Europe still. The issue is the conversations will go up they will move away from the game, good, bad, or indifferent, and it will become about the bigger picture. Equally, if they win, it'll be the same thing. We told you we have the best. Yeah. And it is part of the conversation. But I do think, and what I'm going to try and push for, just a message so our viewers know, I want to keep things a little more local and a little more, how did that game go? How did they win that? Why was that so good? Rather than always going into the wider debates of this player I said would be good, this player I said would be bad, this manager is this manager is that, the squad's this, the squad's that. It's sometimes it comes up organically, and I can't control what the comments do, what the audience want. But from my point of view, and this isn't just Arsenal, I've said it about Man United many times. If we beat Everton at the weekend and then the weekend in 4th, I'm not going to sit there and ask Staffy and ask David on the show, change your mind about Amorim yet. I just don't want to. I honestly think that's putting people off content. I think people are getting really bored of everything always going back to the larger points rather than. And I've had a lot of feedback from our viewers on that they just kind of want conversations to be a little more about the moment as opposed to what might happen in 10 weeks, in 5 months, etc. And we're going to try to do that a little bit more. And as Lou says here, it stops us having the same conversations every week when we discuss the actual game. I agree. And I think we need more of that. And I think but what I will say, if they do lose a few games, where we have to pay some respect to the Arteta outers, the Amorim outers, is that they've been starving the last few weeks. They've been really starving and they're hungry. So they're not going to be able to hold back. But so I do get it. Thank you very much to It's Me for gifting out a membership here. Who'd that membership go to? I can't see. That went to Sol. Sol received that membership. Big up yourself, my friend. And thank you for doing that. What big club keeps a manager 1 billion in 6 years? No trophy. Well, of course, one trophy. There's a few things there. Have you spent £1 billion yet? I don't think you have. So I think you've lied there. Also, he has won a trophy in the FA Cup as well. So again, I think I respect the super chat, brother. Thank you. But you've got to make it honest. Even Son and Kane around, we beat them at home. Yeah, that's why I expect Arsenal to win. But I feel like Arsenal need to send a message to their fans. Like, it's okay, guys. I think it will serve you well. Past 4 seasons, past 8 matches, Spurs have scored 9 goals against Arsenal. Kane scored 8. 8 of 9. Arsenal lost. Let's see the meltdown. Wow. That's very true. That's crazy if true. Sorry, what I meant to say there, Dan. I'm sure you've done your research on that. Technically, Arsenal are expected by Vegas to win it all. Yeah, they're not winning it all. I don't see you doing the quad, to be honest with you. I've never heard of a team, a term divisive socialist soloist Jude. Yeah, listen, what Craig Hope wrote about Jude Bellingham, I find disgusting on every single level. I'll be honest with you, Josh, really good comment there. It's vile what that man did. Yeah, I've never heard anybody just described as that before. And there's one thing about the England squad that's been praised by every player in the last 4 or 5 years is the collectiveness, the togetherness, the team element. And that's something that no matter what you think of him as a coach, as a technical coach, that Gareth Southgate was lauded for. I don't think there is this soloist attitude, these cliques, these weird behaviors going on. We have spent $1 billion and we have won nothing since the FA Cup. What big club would keep a manager as long as that? It's a really good question, and there aren't very many that would do it. The one thing I would say is the last 2 to 3 seasons, I think that's where that becomes relevant, because a lot of the big clubs you're going to be referring to in your mind, you're thinking Bayern Munich, you're thinking Barcelona, you're thinking PSG in the current term, you're thinking about Real Madrid. And these teams rarely in the last couple of decades have been in the situation that Arsenal were in as a football club when Arteta arrived, where they're bringing in somebody to help rebuild the club because the club is just crumbling. So I think the last 2 to 3 years, what you're asking for makes more sense than looking at the entirety of that time, because you're removing a period where you weren't expected to win those major trophies because of where you were. And you weren't expected to do it because you were a club that were fuming. It wasn't just about trophies then, because you were protesting for Wenger to be sacked when he was winning you FA Cup because he wasn't getting you into title races and you've barely been in one for many a year. It's very fair, though, over the last 2 to 3 seasons to judge him on a lack of major trophies. And I myself agree with you on that. I also agree that at the end of this season, context always plays a part, but generally speaking, if you haven't won a trophy and you haven't won a major trophy, his job should most certainly be looked at. That's where I do agree with you, my friend. But I have you actually spent £1 billion? Has it gone over 100? Is it gone over £1,000 million? Is it gone over that? I don't know. So. I don't think it has. I thought it was about 800 million. Terry, he isn't an Arsenal fan. Listen, I'm just responding to a viewer. He may or may not be there. It is irrelevant if we aren't expected. Sorry, it's irrelevant if we aren't expected. This is Arsenal win or fuck off. Well, again, but that wasn't the again. When has that become? When has that standard arrived? Because you were winning trophies under Wenger, but you wanted him gone. That was at your greatest ever manager. So my point is when you say win or F off, do you mean League Cups, FA Cups, or is it just you got to win the Premier League every year and leave? And if you win it this year, how many more years of not winning it until you sack a manager? Like, I'd love to understand your overarching take on that, just so I understand you. I'm not going to challenge it. I just want to know. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. A great show for the middle of the international break with not much going on. We're going to post every week an opportunity for you guys to put your hot takes in and on the shows. And what you can specify on them is if you want them on Mo's shows, the Mo and Husam's, Staffy and Don's, the Monday show, whichever it is. It's up on the homepage now if you want to go and put your hot takes on there, because it really helps us bring your opinions in the community to life as well. So I want to thank everyone who's gone on there and done it. Mo, always a pleasure. Thank you to Husam as well. This is going to redirect you to Husam's show, so go and check him out. If you're watching over on X, please come and join the community now on YouTube. I know there's a lot of you watching over there at the minute. What do we get up to? Like 2,700 people watching on X, which is amazing, by the way. But get yourselves across now to YouTube. Come and support the channel here. That would be amazing if you could. This is going to redirect everybody to Husam's channel, so go and support my brother over there. Aside from that, thank you to Ricardo for proving I have ball knowledge in the DMs. I appreciate it.
Fuck off, yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you to our moderators as well to do a great job moderating the chat. Love you all massively. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon.